This is the Indonesia Channel.
Coming up on today's Indonesia, divers recover a black box flight recorder from AirAsia QZ8501. Bogor remains open for visitors after a tree collapses. And we look at a touching journey of Papua children seeking to get the best education. Hello and welcome to today's Indonesia. I am Luisa Kusnandar. Search divers have found one of two black box recorders of the AirAsia plane that crashed into the Java Sea late last month.
Pukul 7.11 menit berhasil diangkat bagian dari black box yang disebut dengan flight data recorder. Black box itu ada dua bagian ya. Satu adalah flight data recorder dan yang satunya adalah cockpit voice recorder.
Authorities say they have recovered and evacuated the black box to a ship, which will be transferred to Jakarta for examination by the National Transportation Safety Committee. It could take up to 2 weeks to download data from the recovered device. Meanwhile, divers have also discovered the location of the second black box, the cockpit voice recorder, about 60 feet from where the first device was found, and are currently working to retrieve it. So far, a total of 48 bodies have been recovered and 32 have been identified. On Monday, authorities succeeded in identifying 2 South Korean passengers. AirAsia flight QZ8501 was carrying 162 people, including 7 foreigners. The government have found 61 more flight permit violations in the wake of the AirAsia incident. 5 airlines with the most license violations include Garuda Indonesia, Lion Air, Wings Air, Transnusa, and also Susi Air. They violated permits flying in and out of big airports in Tangerang, Banten, Bali, and Surabaya, East Java. Authorities have urged these airlines to propose new flying permits. The airlines will be penalized if found guilty of violating their permits. AirAsia's crashed plane did not have a permit to fly that Sunday for the Surabaya-Singapore route. We get perspective now from our viewpoint analyst. Wimar Witular is here. He's a former presidential spokesman and now running his own communications company. Wimar, after AirAsia, it turns out that some airlines doesn't even have the permit to fly. Do you think this has been happening for some time now?
Well, obviously, it's not just something that happened that week. And from the testimony that we have heard from various officials, they confirmed that. But there is ambivalence on the fact whether it was a normal violation, if you can call it normal, or whether it is negligence. So the jury is still out.
Who do you think is actually to blame here? Is this the government who hasn't been paying enough attention to all these airlines?
I think it's misunderstanding as to the interpretation of the regulations by the government vis-a-vis the interpretation of the airlines, because each seem to have their own viewpoint. Since I am a neutral bystander, I cannot give a verdict unless the process has revealed everything.
Now, the transportation ministers are working on investigating these permit violations. What else do you think they can do?
I think they can maybe do an audit of the safety inspection steps before each flight and compare it to those that AirAsia has to endure in other countries. I cannot believe that we allow the flights to be flown at substandards. So if they have the same standards, it should be made known so that Indonesia as a country does not get branded as a negligent country. But if it's negligent, then they should, of course, remedy it.
So are you saying that it's actually the Indonesian management that is in the wrong?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's the communications that is not clear. Communications internally between the agencies, and also the public relations, the PR outside to present the picture as it is without any bias towards either party. I don't know at this moment if the Indonesian government is to blame.
Well, the government has even planned to ban low-cost airlines from offering cheap tickets for safety reasons. Do you think this is necessary?
I am quite puzzled by that, because we have this tragedy, which is awful, which is terrible, and we have the low-cost fares, which is another issue. I'm not sure whether they are related. The government's thesis is that since the fares are so low, so they don't take care in the safety of the flights. But I'm not sure that is correct, because it's not a price-dependent function.
You don't think so?
No, I think the technical management of each airline has their own professional pride in safety, and it's not dictated by the economics of the airline.
But it must have got some effect to it, right? I mean, price should have mattered to the quality.
Well, we have to see what is revealed in this AirAsia's crash. Did it really fly because the tickets are cheap? That's too simplistic. I mean, we have seen very expensive flights fall down. You know, the famous KLM and Pan Am, the Concorde, and very, very upscale aircraft accidents. So you cannot really just instinctively blame the price for it.
So you're saying this strategy won't actually make any impact?
It's a hasty strategy. Maybe it's a good reaction to show concern, but it should not be a long-term strategy unless it's coupled with a long-term analysis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you think would be the best solution in this case for the better of our airlines and also safety?
We must not lose sight that low-cost airfares are very good in increasing the mobility of Indonesians, that anyone can fly principle. So we should not do away with that first, but we should apply an audit maybe from the ground up on all flights, maybe even a moratorium, and then allow flights which meet the standard to fly again, but not as a matter of precondition, pin it on the prices.
Okay, last question here. People have already been complaining. Do you think this will threaten our airline industry if they do ask all the airlines to increase their price for safety reasons?
It will, because some of the airlines maybe will not be viable if their price policy is tampered with, and hence it will decrease the frequency of the flights. And if we have open skies policy this year or next year in the ASEAN policy, then we will suffer from the fact that we cannot meet the competition of the foreign airlines.
Exactly, exactly. Wimar Witular, thank you so much for coming and sharing
Lisa.
your thoughts with us. A terrorist suspect was killed on Saturday by counter-terrorism officers in North Luwu, South Sulawesi. Police said the suspect had been resisting arrest, leading to a fatal shootout between them. The suspect died at the scene and his body was taken to the police hospital in Makassar. Police believe that the suspect is linked to a terrorist group led by Santoso, one of the most wanted terrorists in the country, with possible links to the Islamic State militant group. Over in Bogor, West Java, the botanical garden is still open for visitors after a tree fell on Sunday, leaving 5 people dead and 20 others hurt. Victims, who mostly had head injuries, were brought to Bogor's Indonesian Red Cross Hospital for treatment. Officials said this incident likely happened because of the abundance of big, old and rotten trees in the garden, especially during rainy season. Police took measures to prevent similar accidents from happening again. A number of homes in Manado, North Sulawesi, were severely damaged from a landslide that occurred on Sunday. Torrential rain that struck the city over the weekend was the main cause of the disaster. Access roads between districts in Manado were also blocked due to the landslide. Meanwhile, hundreds of homes were also inundated with floods of up to 3 meters high. Authorities have been evacuating victims that live on the Tondano River bank using rubber boats and also safety ropes. Now to our first look at the weather. Standing by at the weather monitor is Ashifa Latif. Ashifa, quick forecast for tomorrow.
Luisa, I'm looking at a cloudy day here in the capital. Expect a thunderstorm in several areas. Daytime temperature will reach 31 degrees and drop to a low of 24 degrees at night. And that's a quick look at first weather. I'll be back with a complete forecast later in the program. Back to you, Luisa.
Thank you, Ashifa. Stay with us. Today's Indonesia will continue shortly. We have market numbers across the region, and we speak to online fashion store Audioli.com. That's ahead.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Hahn, and this is Executive Golf. Good shot.
Executive Golf, only on the Indonesia Channel.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Turner, and welcome to Yoga Bliss. It shifts forward and then start to fly. Pull your knee out and up to the sky, breathing here. Exhale takes you down into flying monkey. Arms wide, gazing out over your right fingertips. And inhale it all the way up and open. On your mat, bend your left knee and inhale your right arm up to the sky. Long spine here helps you to really twist open. Come join me on my journey every week on the Indonesia Channel.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching today's Indonesia from the Jakarta studio of the Indonesia Channel, the country's first with 24 hours in English. A lukewarm start to Asian trade today. Here with more is Prisma Kinanti. Prisma, a better performance today perhaps?
Yes, Luisa. Asian markets managed to scramble a positive beginning to the trading day, and investors reacted to a better than expected jobs report. Globally, markets seized their losing streaks on the back of strong earnings numbers. Oil prices, meanwhile, still continue to slip and slide. Let's see how the markets finished in Jakarta and around the region today. Has been on top of the list of e-commerce businesses. One of the country's leading shops is Audioli.com. I spoke to CEO Willy Kurniawan and asked him how his brand beats international competitors.
Actually, we are starting around 2012 already, and then in the beginning we already actually we are starting not only for fashion only, but we are also selling for gadget. But in 2013, when we are doing the soft launching, we realized that the fashion market is more exciting for us.
All of the accessories and clothing you offer are by local designers. Was this something that you planned when Audioli started out?
The local designer, because we also want to honor the local designer, the Indonesian local designer. That's why we are really focusing on the local designer. Currently, we are not focusing on any international brand because we see the Indonesian designer is very promising in their design.
Audioli hasn't ventured into the men's market yet. Are you worried that this can, set back in terms of profit?
No, because the female market is so big that currently we are not worrying at all about the men market. Yeah, of course, there's a market for that also.
But other than Indonesia, are you planning also to ship internationally?
Because, in 2015 there is going to be an open market for the whole Asia. So we are planning on 2016 really be able to ship to outside country also.
Okay, what's next for Audioli then?
Our next target right now we are focusing on the mobile version. because right now our mobile version is only like desktop version but in mobile, but we are currently making the apps for mobiles and of course the mobile version.
Now, Indonesia is increasingly becoming a go-to destination for e-commerce. New companies are cropping up in short amounts of time. Why do you think that?
Indonesia is a big market. Right now, as you know, in 2012, when the e-commerce is booming, our market is like $2 billion US. In 2016, they are predicting our market is going to be $20 billion US. So it's a big market for them to tap in.
Trust issue. How is it going now in Indonesia's e-commerce industry, trying to get people to trust and get into the e-commerce industry?
Of course, there's a lot of e-commerce that just selling, the small one, because it's very easy to set up e-commerce. But as for Audioli, how are we getting the trust? Because we are having a rules that they can return it, no question ask refund or exchange. So they can, if they feel the product is not good enough, they can exchange it to us or refund it 2 times without we asking is it broken or is it something like that.
Do you have any target for sales this year?
Our target for our sales, I hope we can hit 3,000 orders a day.
So that means about 90,000 per month?
Yeah, more than that.
As demand rises, Audioli targets to ship internationally in 2016. And that's Business Watch. Luisa.
Thank you, Prisma. More of today's Indonesia is coming up. We have an inspiring story of children in Papua who wish to have education rights.
Indonesia's first 24-hour English TV channel is here, with an exciting mix of programming to inform and entertain viewers around the world. The Indonesia channel offers something for everyone, from world-class lifestyle shows like Yoga Bliss to the hottest music hits and artists on iPop. News and information are an important part of the Indonesia channel, with Today's Indonesia and ASEAN Today providing what you need to know. International hosts such as Lorraine Hahn, Jamie Aditya, Caitlin Turner, and Dalton Tanonakap are among the faces you'll see. Movies, dramas, travel, and more are all on the Indonesia channel for the world to see.
The best of Bali, only on the Indonesia channel. Indo Cinema on the Indonesia channel. Archipelago on the Indonesia Channel.
This is today's Indonesia, your daily window into this dynamic archipelago. Students in Papua are eager to get a higher education despite a lack of sufficient school facilities and infrastructure. The Indonesia Channel's Roberlin Purba takes us to Lani Jaya to learn more about their attitude towards school.
Hundreds of students gather at Tiom Airport to welcome the first female minister from Papua. Johanna Yembise is on a state trip to inaugurate an early childhood program in Lani Jaya Regency. Since entering office in November, Yembise has put education at the top of her list. She's urging people to pursue a higher education so they can compete in the global marketplace.
They need help from us. Because they stay in very remote areas here. I think you feel already up on the mountains, very far away from the real development. In the eyes, they really need us to help them in all aspects of life, especially the education.
Located in the mountainous central part of Papua, Lani Jaya is a relatively new regency established in 2008 with a population of more than 170,000. It takes a 1-hour flight on a small plane from Jayapura, the capital city of Papua, to get there. The local government pays serious attention to education, as Papua province has been left behind in this sector. In 2004, they allocated 50 billion rupiah, or around $4 million, to improve the education system in Lani Jaya. There are currently more than 200 schools with 26,000 students from kindergarten to high school. People living here are aware of the importance of education. They want to be smart and educated for a better life. Despite the lack of sufficient infrastructure and education facilities, students haven't lost their spirit to achieve their dreams.
Saya ingin menjadi ahli bahasa Inggris. Saya sangat senang sekali bahasa Inggris, jadi saya berharap karena di sini banyak sekali yang tidak tahu bahasa Inggris, jadi saya ingin sekali bisa menjadi guru bahasa Inggris di sini.
However, teachers say conditions are difficult. They face challenges in doing their jobs due to limited access.
Ya, kendala dalam bidang pendidikan hanya transportasi karena tempatnya belum dibuka. Tapi kesiapan anak-anak luar biasa antusias untuk belajar, tapi untuk menjangkau anak-anak ke daerah-daerah itu harus ada pembangunan infrastruktur jalan. Kalau itu bisa menjangkau, berarti pendidikan itu sangat maju sekali.
Sometimes students here feel neglected. They need help from the government to make their dreams come true. Earlier, President Joko Widodo launched a smart card program for children to have free access to school until they finish high school. But education remains a serious issue of concern in Indonesia that needs to be resolved. Roberlin Purba, the Indonesia Channel, Jayapura.
Well, every children deserves to get a good education. Now let's get our complete weather picture again. Ashifa joins us once again at the weather monitor for an outlook across the archipelago. Ashifa, what is Tuesday forecast?
Luisa, the air is getting even cooler, where we can see cloudy weather all over the country. Let's start in Aceh, where the day is projected to be cloudy with rain. The daytime high is seen at 30 degrees and will cool down to 24. In Medan, expect a rainy day with thunderstorm. Low will be down at 22 degrees Celsius. From Sumatra, we head over to Java. The capital, Jakarta, will be cloudy with thunderstorm in several spots. The high will reach 31 degrees and cool down at 24 degrees at night. The same in Surabaya, we will have a cloudy day with a thunderstorm or two. Daytime high will hit 30 degrees Celsius and cool down to 24. In Bali's capital, Denpasar, expect a thunderstorm in several spots. The high projected to be at 30 degrees. We're heading up to Makassar, expect a cloudy with a chance of rain at the high of 30 degrees and a low at 24 degrees Celsius. And in Jayapura, Papua, expect a thunderstorm in spots of the cloudy day. The high projected to be 32. And that's Tuesday's forecast, Luisa.
Thank you, Ashifa. And as usual, Monday is our Designer Spotlight Day. Please show us your beautiful outfit.
All right. Today, I'm wearing Hype Streetwear by Hunted. It is a sporty black and white dress, as you can see, and the dress is priced at 499,000 rupiah, or around $39. And sold at Maria Store in Panglima Polim, and their Instagram at Hunted Inc.
There you go.
What do you think, girls?
It's cute. It's a cute outfit.
Yeah, it's sporty, casual. It's very cute.
A little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, it's really like you know, today's kind of like style, streetwear, kind of
sporty, casual.
Agree.
Very nice. Thank you, Ashifa. And these days, everybody keep on shopping online through Instagram, right?
Right. You too, right?
Me too. Try a browser. Hardly shop though. Okay, let's go to feedback now. If you want to send us any comments, feedbacks, or any critics, please send it to us to our email at info@theindonesiachannel.com, and you can also reach us through our social media pages. A festive tradition called Mekotek was just held recently on Kuningan holiday in Munggu village in Badung, Bali. Participants consisting of brave young and old citizens walk around the village carrying 3-meter-long wooden sticks. At every intersection, they form the sticks to a pyramid and climb onto them. After reaching the top, the formation dropped to another shape. This ceremony was a symbol of victory in the war decades ago, and now it is held once every 6 months as a plea of protection from disaster. Any thoughts on that?
That's very interesting and unique. I've never seen that, actually, like really seen it when it's happening in the streets of Bali. But there's a lot of interesting ceremony and rituals in Bali nowadays.
Yeah, they have so many and so many interesting stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very unique. Yeah. Okay, that's today's Indonesia from Jakarta. Thank you for watching with Ashifa and Prisma. I'm Luisa Kusnandar. Please join us again next time. Bye-bye.